uh, anyways we'll be checking out your page and column after this class is
Yeah,
done. But
yeah.
if you have anything right now, like whether you have any doubts among these three, right? We have seen, so whatever we have done among these lists, right? So this is same for even libraries, right, and all. So both are
Right,
same
yeah.
for libraries and lists. So we have already seen something like I have already told you that a list is nothing but a entity which holds something called data, right? Which we have something
Data.
called custom list, right? We have some lists which are custom lists, and we have something called libraries, right? Right. So both are children of list, fine. So if you know list, so that is applied for both of these. So we have seen something called libraries, which is nothing but document library, right? Where we have seen so many other concepts like versioning, checking in, checking out, editing directly. While editing, how to check out, how to check in, and all, right? So, and I've
Right,
shared
yeah.
the video, so you can just go through that, right? So the same thing happens for each and every library, anyways, right? So today, anyways, uh, we'll browse some more libraries whichever we have in SharePoint, right? So let's go back to here, and let's create some libraries here, right? So today, let us see one more type of library. So I want to create some more libraries here. So right, we have something called lists, right? Lists here, and
Right.
let us create some. Okay, before creating that, okay, let us create that. Yes. So how to create a library here? So this option is to create a document library,
Yeah.
right? So with using this, we can create only one type of library, which is nothing but document library. Anyways, as this is very important, that's why we got a shortcut here, right? But if you want to see everything, all the type of libraries, you have to go to something called more options, right? Where you can see
Right.
everything, like so when you type in and go for more options, like it will give you all possible items here, right? So here we have seen something called list, right? Let's go to libraries now. Libraries. So here, can you see there are so many types of libraries, right? So we have something called wiki page library,
Right.
form library, right? We'll be learning this wiki page. What is wiki page when we actually go to creating wiki pages and blocks, right? So let us create
Okay.
one more important type of library, which is something called picture library, right? Which is again a different type of library, but whatever we can do in document can be done in picture library, right? Because it all comes under something called libraries. So let me give this library as some IT libs libraries, right? IT library, or I can just say IT pictures, something, right? Because I want to save something called pictures, right? So let's go back for more options. Let us see what it is here, right? Can you see here? It says it wants some description, which is nothing but I can give some. This is for uh, for the picture repository, right? We will be just
Right.
making some repository for pictures, right? And here you can see navigation. So we have learned something called quick launch, right? Which is nothing but here, whatever you can see here is nothing but your quick launch. Just say yes.
Quick launch. Right.
Yeah. And here again, can you see this versioning history, right? Which we have already seen in something called document library. Again, this is a type of library. Can you see here? A picture library is again nothing but a type of library, which is nothing but a
Library. Yeah.
which comes under category called content. We have seen content library, which is nothing but document library, where we have uploaded something called some documents, right? Some sample documents.
Documents. Yeah.
Those are nothing but your contents, and the type you are creating here is library, right? So versioning, let us skip this part because already we have seen this version history, right? Let's create it up. So here it is picture library is one more interesting topic we have, where we have very good options directly being provided here without any big coding standards. It's directly configurable. Let me show you what actually can be done over here now. right?
Okay.
So it is processing. So if your PC is not fast enough, so we should have more patience to bear
So
it,
yeah,
right?
I
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, here can you see here we got something called separate entity, which is nothing but pictures, right?
Right.
And whenever we create list again, it will go under lists. So we created something called picture library. It came under something called pictures, right? So now here again you can see all the columns. Again, this is nothing but a list, right? So under this all
Right.
pictures, you can create something called. Let me click on this, right? You can create a view, right? And you can modify view, all
Yeah.
those things. So everything is same again, right? Now let's go and actually check out what exactly it is. So here, can you see here? If you can see something called, let me go back to courses, which is a list. So how we used to add item? We used to go to add item and add, right?
Right.
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 So
Yeah.
or how we can go, either you can go here or you can use any new row and all, right?
Right click.
Yeah.
Right.
But here in under pictures, there is no option here. Can you check it out? But you have something called ribbon here, right? There is something called
Yeah.
upload, actions and settings. Let us see each and everything now. When you have something called pictures, which means you want to upload some pictures, right? You want to show outside world that these are the different templates we have for pictures, right? So let me just use this. Click on the upload now. Can you see there will be so many options here? I mean, there will be some options to upload something. I've clicked it and let it open. Yeah, can you see here? You can upload one picture or you can upload multiple pictures at a time. Fine. So
Right.
let me select this upload picture now and let us see how it actually goes on. Right, let me browse it up. I want to upload a picture. Let's select some let us go to, where can I find some pictures? Let's go to some pictures in here, right? Let's go here. Let's go to some sample pictures which are, I mean, some sample pictures we have. Let's select some picture and just say okay. Okay, so
Okay.
here itself we have so many views anyways. I'll let me upload 2 to 3 some pictures over here. Can you see here? It says,
Right. Yeah.
some pictures I can give it will get the name as it is, and if you want to change the name you can just say some IT flower, some uh, IT flower.jpg, and preview. It will just give you the image preview and just say title, this is a logo, just say something, right? And taken and all,
Right.
right, and just say save. So what it does is, so now your picture will be saved in this way. Can you see this now? Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is how we actually see the picture. So here we have something called view, right? See here, you can change your view.
Yeah.
Just click on details. Can you see here? It went to detailed one.
Yeah.
So where I can get something called the name, picture size, column and all, right? And in this, if you want
Okay.
to, right, any doubt here, right? I
No.
just selected this and it gave me the preview here. Let me upload some more pictures here. Let's go back to my upload and let us upload one more picture over here, right? And it just gave this and just save it up, penguins, right? And let me upload one more so that I can show you that better. Let me take the desert mountains, right? And just save it up. I don't want to change anything, right? So now can you see here? So it is a view. So here what we have used is we have used something called upload. Fine. So under upload option we
Right.
have something called upload picture or upload multi. If you want to click on queue some multiple pictures at once, you can use this. But as my system is going slow, I cannot upload once, right? So that I just took this. You can try it
Yeah.
out uploading multiple. We have seen something called uploading multiple documents, right? It is the same way you
In
can upload,
library. Yeah.
right? So this is how
Right.
we do, and let us see something else here. So once we have uploaded it, so once you select something, right, some one here, like you can see the preview. Can you see here? As I move my mouse to the name here, right, you can see the preview over here, right? So that's why it now
Right.
you can see here the type. The type here is something called, it gives the name as JPEG, right? Because I have uploaded something called JPG. This is a symbol for your type of your file, right? And now again, I hope you have seen this. If you want to change something here, right, you can do this. If you want to do something called view properties, go on view properties, right? And it is again same as the document library, but only thing is when you select something called picture library, it will be useful for uploading images. Fine. See, everything is
Right.
same. You can check out this. You can have, as I haven't mentioned something called version history, it won't give. You can delete an item, edit an item, everything, right? And you can edit something called whatever you want. Fine. So this is how it goes. Now let me just close it up. So this is a view. If you can see here, view, it says all pictures, but here I have selected something called details. Let me select something called film strip. Can you see here? If I select something
Change
else,
this.
right, it can change. You can give any view for this, right? Let me go back and say something called thumbnails. Thumbnails is nothing but you can have different, right? Can you see here? If I click on that picture, it goes to that picture. Fine. So that is your thumbnail.
Right.
Now so that is how we actually upload images using something called picture library, right? Now here we have one more
Right.
option here, right? New. So this option is for creating a folder. You can actually, if you want to create different folders, let us say some images represent some company, right, and some images represents project in that company, we can have, right? So for that, in a same doc I mean picture library, you can create different folders. Let me create a folder again, and let me say something called IT folder, some folder, and click on save, right? Can you see here your folder got created, right? Now if you click on this, now you got again the same options. Now can you see here under my IT pictures, right, which is nothing but a picture library, a folder got created which is nothing but IT folder. Fine.
I
Now
can
if you do
follow.
something called upload, right, you will get something which is so that will be uploaded in your folder, and just say save. So can you see here? So by default picture library will go for thumbnail, right? So if you wanna go back, just go to IT pictures. Again you can see something called IT folder and all. Fine. So these are, we use something called new and upload. Any doubts in here, Trupti?
Right.
Fine. Now,
No.
so now let's go to actions now. So now let us see what are all there in actions. Now see here, it says edit picture, right? So this is used, let me click on this. So it is used to actually edit your different properties of a picture, right? Which is, let me select one of the picture, right? Let me select one of the picture, right? Here penguins I have selected. Okay, I got it. I'm getting Can you see here? It opened in my uh,
Editing mode.
yeah. Let me close and open it again so that,
So,
yeah.
what did you do? You just clicked on the picture and
Exact.
you
No, no, no.
right click and edit?
What I said is I just clicked on my one of my picture, right? And I went to
Okay.
actions and click on edit pictures,
Okay.
right? So which means, see,
Right.
it is opening something here, which is some office, a picture editor. So whenever you try to access, we have learned something like, whenever you try to access something in document library, if you want to open it, what will happen? You have to provide something called a user ID and password, right? You have to provide some credentials. In
Right,
the
yeah.
same way it happens here, like IT pictures. Let me go back and see this, what is happening here. Click on all three, or click on something called desert, go to actions, click on edit picture. Let us see what happens here. What is happening here? Let me just close this once, edit selecting not responding, it says not responding. We close program here. Right, we close this up and okay, fine. So here let's go back to IT pictures. Right, come on. Fine. I just selected a few of these and I just said actions and edit picture. Right, when I said edit picture, it will actually try to open those two in separate image editor. Right, let it open anyways. Let's go back to this IT pictures, right, and let us see other things. Let that open. My PC is always slow. Right, it opens as if
Yes.
we have
Okay.
done. Yeah, can you see this now? Okay, it was just about to open. Okay, doesn't matter, right? Initially we have seen something, right? Edit pictures option, right?
Yeah,
You can
I
go
saw.
there
I
and
saw it.
edit something and do something, right? Not a problem. Now, in
Right.
actions we have something called delete, right? Delete is something to delete your image, selected image, and you have something called download. Download is whatever picture you want to download to your PC, you can download, right? And
Right.
again you have something called send to. Send to is again you can copy this from SharePoint. You can directly send these images to through your mail. Fine. And I don't want to click on this because it will open again. It will take some time to open my default mail and all, right? But if you click on this, if your Outlook is your default mail, it will open your Outlook and attach these two files automatically. Fine. And we have
Right.
something called slideshow. If you go to a slideshow, right, slideshow will open a separate window and there you can see each and every image here, right? You can just either play it out or just go, and see each and every, right? That is nothing but a slideshow. You can do that in a SharePoint directly. Fine. So, and we have something called some advanced options here, which is open in the Window Explorer. Will open this picture, right, in separate browser, right? Oops, in separate browser, right? And yeah, yeah. So, and we have something called connect to Outlook. Again, what it does is Outlook is something called a SMTP mail client, which you once you enter into some organization, you will understand this, right? You will understand at that point because they'll be having continuous sync up of their Outlook. Fine. And we have something called sync to computer. Once you are maintaining this copy with your local copy, you can sync it up. And you have RSS feed and alert me. Alert me is something again like let me click on this alert me. This is very important again, which is nothing but which is one sec. Pandu, you're suddenly door set. Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we have something called alert here, right, where so here you can see here alert is for IT pictures. So whatever picture changes, it will send you an email. Fine. So if there is any change of one of the pictures, right, it will give you an email to your email ID being mentioned here. But here actually this is my machine name, right? But if unless you
Right.
unless you unless you are something like, let me give some my email ID here, but it won't accept anyways. Let me just click on search. Can you see this? No match found, because we will not have SMTP synced in our Windows 7, right? Initially you should not install your SharePoint in Windows 7, right? You have to go for some server.
Right. Yeah.
But when you go for server, right, and if it is connected to the network where your SMTP emails are actually registered, so then you can make this. So this you will see this better way when you actually enter into real time, right? But alert is for something like you can provide your usernames here, right, and you can just say for all changes I want, I type all type changes, I want an alert. For all changes in alert, I want an alert. You can say all these things, right? and you can say send the notification immediately whoever changes the picture. I can edit some picture, right? I can resize it, or I can delete a document, or I can delete a picture, right? All those things you can
Right.
get your alert immediately. That is nothing but your alert, right? So that is nothing but of different actions you can do. Now go back to settings. Now in settings again, it's again a view again. So
Create
create column is
column.
nothing but you can create some more columns, right? Where if you go actually to this view, which is nothing but all pictures and details, right? Can you see here columns? So this is nothing but a column.
Yeah.
If you want to add more columns, you can just go and create column, right? It will add you more column here. Fine. And create view is nothing but we have seen views like you can create multiple views, right? Where you can either create a view from here or go to all here. You can also create your view here, fine, or you can modify view here. So that's how we actually work with um, picture library. Fine. So here let us see one more thing here, one more thing across. Let me just select something called thumbnails so that it will be more clear here. Now it's clear now, right? So let us say I don't want this picture library, which is IT pictures, right? I don't want this and I want to delete it from my info institute. How can I do that, right? So how you can do that is, or let us say I just want my continuous edit is being clicked. Let me close this once here. Let me go to this. Yeah. Now let us say here I have my courses, right? I have my courses being mentioned here. So let me say if I want to delete my course, right? So we have already seen that, right? You remember I deleted a course and I got it back from recycle bin, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
So
remember that.
in the same way, let me create a document library. I just want to show here one thing because that is again very important in while maintaining document libraries, right? Let me give it as some some document library, yes, and all Microsoft something, right? And process, and I've created some document library. Now can you see here my document library got created under something called libraries, right? And let me add a
Yeah.
document here. Let's add something because we have already seen different things can be done, versioning, checkout and everything. But let me just give some small presentation here. Click on OK. Right. So let us say this is your document library where you have defined so many your documents, right? Now if you want to
Right.
delete this document again, again we have seen something called lists yesterday, right? How to delete a list and how to get back. So again let us see how to delete a library, right? And
Right.
for deleting a library you have to select the library, right? Go to library tools, go to library tab. Here you have something called library settings, right? Click on that, right? It will take you the we have seen this screen so many times, right? So in this screen you have
Yeah.
something called delete this document library, right? If you click on this, it will ask you whether you want to delete. Yes. So now can you see here it was there when it
Yeah.
completes deleting the document library. Let it delete, right? So there are no libraries anymore,
Right.
right? So there are no libraries and it
No.
will ask for to create more. So if you want to get back again, go to recycle bin, right? So here your document
And get
library
it
will
back.
be there, right? So again click on this and
Right.
restore selection. Just say yes. Again once you restore this selection of this, it won't be visible here. You remember yesterday we have seen the same. So where it will be? It will go to the all site content. It will be there in all site content, right? Now can you see here under document library we have something called doclib, right? So how to get this here again? Go to doclib and again you have to go to library, right? Go to library settings. So here you will see again something called title, description and navigation, because we have to create the navigation here for doclib. So click on here, right? So you'll be seeing some three options here, right? Doclib is your document library. Now you can see here display this document library on quick launch, right? If I say yes and save, now you can see here the doclib is back.
And the libraries, yeah.
Yeah. So these are we
Right.
actually play with the libraries like picture library or document library and all. Fine. And lists till
Right.
yesterday we have seen list, right? Now one more thing in document libraries or anything or any across, it can be a library or it can be list or anything. Let us say I want to change the title of this. How can I change that? How can I change? I have something called doclib, right? But it is not making any sense, right? How to change is you have to select the document library, go to library, here under library
List
tools
settings.
again, right? Library settings, right? This is very
Library
important, right?
settings.
Yeah, you can go to title, description, navigation again. So here you have something called title, right? Just say it has some IT doclib, right? And save it up. Can you see here now? Your this is being changed again. If you want to change something called codes, facilities, or batch, any of the title you can change. You can change directly going there, right? Go to list, right? List settings
Hmm.
again. Let me list settings, right? And here again you have something called description. You can change this IT, right? Courses, and you can just tag it up. Fine. So that is how we actually work with changing the title of a document library or of a list or anything else, right? So that is how
Right.
we do that. Now, so this is all about lists and documents and how we actually create a library. So this is a very basic thing which you have to remember, that a list, a custom list or a document library or a picture library, everything will come under list, because you have to maintain something called columns and rows, right?
Right.
Right. Today and now we'll see one more advanced topic in something called, yeah, I can say some list again. Let us say I want to make this list as a template. So what is a template? Template is nothing but, let us say in this info institute, right? Let me go back to the page. Right. Okay, so now we are in page, right? So in this, if I want to create a list, so what I should do, I have to go to site settings, right? More options, and I have to select something called uh,
Okay.
list here, right? List here, right?
List,
And
yeah.
these are some of the templates we have, right? Now let us
Yeah.
say if you want to create your own template, right? So these are the templates, which means see, each and everything does the same thing. Custom list is will give you some columns and all, right? Again, contacts will give you the columns which are pertaining to contacts. Calendar view will give you the view of calendar, but again all those things will be saved, and announcements will give you other again, right? All these things are for same. But let us say you want to create your own template which should be visible here. So what to do that time? So at that time what you have to do is this. Let us say I want this courses, right? I want this courses tab or list to be available for as a template, default template, right? So what to do is select the list, go to live list tools, go to list, right? And
List
go
settings.
to, sorry, any doubt?
No, I'm just saying, go to list settings, I guess.
Yeah. Perfect. I hope you have, we, yeah. And can you see here we have something called save list as
Save as
template.
templates. Yeah.
Yeah. Let us save this as template, and which will ask for what should be the name. Let us give that name, and we'll see how. Now can you see here it says what should be the name. So let me give as same contacts, I mean sorry, courses Sharepoint patch. Let me give some name here, right? Which should be unique for other, right? This is my file name. Let me give this as a title name and description, everything. Now can you see here include content? What does it mean? It means, so when we
What's the
created list, did we get any data in there? No, right? We just got some
No.
columns and we added different records in that. Am I right? So, but here when
Yeah.
you are creating something called custom template, you have some option to include content, which means if my courses I have already, if I have got this the data already in my courses, and if I say include content, which means I'll be getting that same data in that page. Let me just select this include content and say okay. Fine. So which means this is been added now here. So let's go back to some other page and see what happens. Now can you see it says template has successfully been added, and you can now create a list, right? Let me click on OK. Now so it is under info institute, right? Let's go back to corporate collection again, right? And let's go back to accounts. Let us say I want to create that list in accounts, right? Now site actions, right? Go to more options again, because I want to create a list now. Go to go to list, right? Now can you see this one?
Oh, yes, there.
Yeah. Now
Custom.
we got something called courses SP batch. So this is the one which we created. So in the same way you can also create a custom library, right? Now you understood how to create a custom library or a list. So both are, in the same way you have to create. Now let me just set this courses SP batch. Let us say like derived courses. Let me give some name, right? Which is my courses name. Let me create. I'm creating in some other site. Can you see that? Some other site. Now can you see?
Yeah.
I have derived courses, but I
Yeah.
got everything, right? I got each and every item whatever was there in that template, right? So that is nothing but your moving or making your template as a custom template in your SharePoint. Fine.
Right.
Okay, let me go back there. So we were in accounts. So where is my accounts? Go back here. So we have created some custom template in Info Institute, but we have used that in accounts. Can you see that? In accounts, whenever I click on derived courses, I'll be getting that. Fine.
Yeah.
So let me go back to again to Info Institute. Now let us create same courses. I can use the same courses for creating one more template, right? So let's go back to list settings and save as template, right? This time what I want is I don't want to include the content. Fine. So let me take the same
Yeah.
name courses SP batch and say no data. Let me just say something. We can use the same thing here, no data, and let us not include this, and let me say okay, right? It got created, and say okay. Now again we are in Info Institute. Let's go back to Codes IT, right? So Corp IT is a collection, right, Trupti, where we have something called
Yeah.
Info Institute. So we have created that template here. Now we can use across the site. Let's go back to accounts again. Let's create a new list. How can we create a new list? Site actions, right? More
New
options,
options.
right?
Lists.
Now go back
All
to
type of
list
lists.
again. List. Can you see here?
Is there? Yeah.
Yeah, SP with no data. Let us create something called some courses. Let me call it as derived courses and say one, right? Some one. Let me create.
Yeah.
Can you see here? It just created a column. It just created something
Yeah.
called
Here's your
course
data.
duration view. That's it. And when you go to derived courses here, it will give you everything.
The
Fine.
data. Constant.
So that's how it works. Now let me check one thing. Let me check whether this works or not. Let me go to Corp IT. Let us do one thing. To this Info Institute courses, let me add one more record, right? Let us see whether it is effective or not. Fine. Fine. Add new item. You understood what I am saying, Trupti?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. I
Yeah.
understood
Let me
it.
go to new item. Let me click here as Android. Some Android codes, and let me give it as some Android codes will take, let us say, some 35 yards. Over this is Android codes, right? And let me give some contents as one as intents, right? Sorry, intents, right? And let me give something called broadcast, right? And something called gaming, and some other thing called let me give apps, right? So this is something. So let me take some fees as some $500 and just say save. right? We created something, and again, can you see here, we haven't did anything. So if you want to do some formatting again, just go back, edit item, right, and just say something like bold, and let me give some color as something which is different. Let me give some blue which should look different. Yeah, right, it looks different from here. Now let's go back to our page again, browse. Let's go back to corp IT collection, go back to accounts, go back to direct courses. Now can you see that? So what happened here? Any guess?
It didn't add the item.
Yeah, why? Because,
Because it's still a template form.
yeah, because when we created the custom template at that time, there was only 3 records. Fine,
Right.
there were only 3 records, and it got, and we saved it with 3 records. So that's why now
Right.
whenever you use that template, it will add only 3 records and no more,
3
because
records.
now it is not connected directly. Fine.
Okay.
Now let us go back and see what happens now here. Let's go back to something called corporate collection, info institute, right? Go back to courses again. Now you can see 4
Let's
now.
add it from here.
Yeah, let me go and list settings, right, and let us say again, save list as template. Let me take this as SP. Let me give the same name. Let us see what happens, right? And I say include content. Just click on, I'm sorry, let me say the same names. Okay. See here, it says it is already there, right? So which means if you say
Yeah.
one one custom template, you cannot do that, because you have to delete that and do that, right? Let us go back. Let us not delete that anyways. Let us go back to courses, and let me now, with these 4 items, I'll save a template again. List settings, save list settings. Let me go back and say 4, right? Just sp4, 4 include content, and just say okay, right? It added some. Let's go back to list template gallery here. Can you see all the things are here now?
Yeah.
Shruti, we have something called SP batch, no data, SP batch, right? If you don't want this, right, you have to go here and delete this item. Fine. If you delete this item, then it will be deleted again. Fine. So now, anyways, let's go back to browse, go back to corp IT collection, right? And let's go back to accounts, and now let us create a new list using the one which we created now, and let us see what happens, right? List, and you can see batch 4, right? SP4 here, right?
It's
Click on
good.
that,
Yeah.
and let me create something called derived 4, some list 4, something, and just say create. Now can you see? Because we have saved the custom list when there was 4 records, so that's why it saved
Yeah.
directly with the 4 records and the complete architecture. And now even if you select this list and go to something called mm, list settings, you can see all the columns. Can you see here? Course name, duration, fees, everything will be there. The whole architecture will be copied directly to this template, right? So this is how we create something called list or document library, or any library custom template. So which can be added to something called here. This is nothing but all the
So I guess
registered. Yeah.
you can customize it according to your requirements, right? Basically.
Exactly. If you want everyone to use the same template where there is some set of data, you can just include that as a custom template.
Mm.
Fine. So these are how we actually
Okay.
create custom, templates and documents and all here. So these again the same. Let's go back and just see one more item here. We just let's go back to Corp IT collection, Info Institute. We have something called Doc IT Lib, right? Where we have some one presentation, right? So let's go
Right.
back to
Yeah.
library settings, right? So now till now we have seen something called lists, right? You remember? Now what I'm doing is
Yeah.
I'm making library as a custom um, custom library. So again, if you go to libraries here, you can see save document library as a template, right? Click on this and just say my lib1, some library. Just save it all and click on including. Click on this. It added here. If you want to see, can you see here? Everything is been added here, right? Lib1. And let's go back to accounts now. Now I don't have any document library here, right? So let us say I want to add document library, new document, or I can say more options, right? And I wanna go to library. So can you hear my lib1, right?
Yes,
My
sir.
lib1 and just say derived lib, right? Just say create. Can you see here? My library got created derived and with one presentation, right? So which means both lists and libraries work in same way, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that is what we call as a something called how to create a custom template of your own, which is list and libraries, right? And on top of that, where you can create something called views, right? Now, let me just give a quick look on this ribbon, right? This ribbon is nothing but, I think we have seen something called library settings and all, right? Now let us see some more things here. So can you see this? Let me go to list again. Whenever I am explaining something called list, it is same for library, right?
Right.
Now in this there is one important thing here. Can you see here? There is a two things like standard view and data sheet view, right? When I click on standard view, it will we can see that in something called page view, right? Let me click on data sheet view. Can you see what happened here? It will take you to directly editable mode, right? Can you see this? Like
Wow.
when I say wiki pages blog and okay, let me just say something. Oops. Okay, can I hear my blogs and let us say some blogs and some content. Let me just say this, right? And let me just, can you see here? It directly asks yes. Yeah, let's go to standard view. Can you see here? Right? So that is the data sheet view. Data sheet view will give you like Excel sheet, right? Where whatever you enter,
Right.
parallelly you can also save it up, right? Now in a standard view again, you can see whatever I've added here. Now again, if you want to make sure everything looks same, again you can go back, edit item, like just select everything, right, and just select color as some color. Fine. So these are, we have something called data sheet view, right? And we have seen something called create view. Create view is nothing, again nothing but how many columns or how what exactly you want to see, right? So that is nothing but create view. We have already
Yes.
seen it in here. Here you remember this create view. So that is the
Yeah.
same as whatever we have, right? Now in list, what else we have is, so this complete manage views is nothing but creating a view and all. Fine. And here you have something called email a link, right? So what is an email link? Let me click on this. When I click on this link, right, again what it does is, wherever this list is there, right, that link will be email. You can send an email, and again for this you should have something called default mail, right? But in my PC I have something called live mail as a default, so that's why it will open my instance of my mail. Fine. So let it open my one of the instance of this. Fine. Can you see here? It directly gave me something called link, right?
Uh,
Let me
really?
copy this link and let me open some other browser, right? Let me open some other browser and let us see. So you can directly send it here, right? Can you see? I can just say some name here and just send it. So let me just skip this up and let me use this link and let us see what happens. And let me just copy that link again. Copy it here, right? And just say, can you see? You will get the direct list here, right?
Yeah.
So that is what we
Opens
have.
up
Let me
again.
go to the other browser. This is my new browser, right? Where I'm not I haven't opened anything, right? Just click on that. Yeah. What's an enter? Can you see it asks for some admin and admin. This is now password. And can you see here, right?
Yeah.
Which means
Opened up again.
yeah, right? Which means I'm directly sending a link for this, right? So that's how we can email. That is nothing but your emailing and stuff, right? So that's why even if you want to save link, you can directly save this link. Even this means the same. Fine. So that's how we go, and we have something called RSS feed. RSS feed again nothing but whenever there is a change, automatically it will get affected here. If you click on this RSS feed, right? And again we have something called export to Excel. Again, what does it mean? Right, whenever you click on this, the whole sheet will be exported as an Excel, right? You can save it up. Now what is that Access? Actually Access is nothing but one of the Microsoft Office component. Can you see here when I
Yeah.
go to
Like
Microsoft?
the database thing.
Have you ever seen Microsoft Access, Trupti?
Yeah, I've worked on it before.
Okay,
I
fine.
had a training
Superb
on
then,
it.
superb then. Then
Yeah.
that's fine. Access is nothing but your DB kind of thing, right? Light DB. So the whole thing will open in
Right.
a DB content, right? So that's what it is,
Right.
right? And now, so I think you know this list settings. Everything is here now, right? And we have something called form web parts. So we'll be seeing these things, customizing lists, form web parts. Again in SharePoint we'll be checking out what is a web part and all. So there we'll be learning these things, right? So that is your whole
Yeah.
ribbon here, and how to work with list and library. So you have any doubt, Trupti? So this will be the end
No,
of
nothing.
yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, if you go back to email link, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we get the link from the top of the page where the browser is? Like if you click on email link,
Mm-hmm.
then do we email the Srinath
Yeah.
485? Is that the link we email to our
Yeah.
fellow
Yeah.
workmate, right?
Perfect. Yeah. You can also
Okay.
select this. You can also select this. Not a problem.
Okay.
Okay, not a problem because
Or if we click on email link, it directly copied and paste to your Outlook compose box, right?
exactly perfect. So it will directly open your it and your subject will be printed with that one.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Fine. And this is good for everything. Even if you go to library, even if you go to document library, you have something called emailing, right?
Yeah. So
If you do
there
this,
we
it will
go.
email this, right? And you have something called.
Yeah.
Can you see this? You have again something called send to here. I can send one document.
Yeah.
If I click on email link
Email
for
link
one document here, right? Let us see. Can you see here? It just says
sample.
some what is this sample? Oops, I don't know. By my default mail is something else actually, right? Let me close this up
Yeah.
and just say I want send to email a link,
Email link.
right? Or email a link. Click on this. Let it open and let us see what happens. Okay, it should actually attach your document anyways, right? Maybe my mail client is not maybe compatible for this, right? But if you are
Yeah.
working with your Outlook, it'll do it for you, right? Not a problem. Fine. So that is how we work with complete lists and documents and views, Trupti. So I'll be sharing this video with you, right? And I hope
Okay.
that will be all for complete site creation, site collection creation, right? How to create his websites and how to navigate quick launches and
Right.
lists, libraries, and views. So, site. So from tomorrow
Right.
onwards, we will be moving on with something called web parts, which is how to actually design your page, right? For designing, anyways, we need all these
Okay.
things. Right? Tomorrow we'll be moving with something very exciting,
Right.
right? So that will be all.
Okay.
So let me stop the recording, right? So that we can move on to
Yeah.
the doubts. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Deposit.